start with the introduction of yourself. Tell me who you are, what you do, and what inspired you to go into music.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm Kilamdapro, from Maryland, DMV, Maryland, DC area, and I got into music like young, at a young age. I started playing an instrument, trumpet, in fifth grade. I played an instrument for about 7 years into high school. I played in like bands, and I even was a I was able to be a part of like a orchestra type setting. At one point, from playing for so long and just getting experience, and that helped me like read music, count bars, count measures. And somewhere in there in the mix between like middle school, high school, I started like itching into music production and like as far as like hip hop production, music production, and then and all that, like while all this is happening, I'm getting like my inspirations is coming from like my parents' music and my uncle. My uncle was the one who put me onto like a lot of underground hip hop, like MF Doom and Madlib and a lot of those guys, Murs, and different like artists in the underground scene, that I wouldn't have heard if I wasn't with him or hanging with him, you know. Listening to a lot of that music, also watching movies, and I'm just getting a lot of like different references like pop culture and musically, and that all like intertwines into my music creativity. So it started at a young age, and then from there I just kept building on, on top of it, and kept on with it. And so definitely playing an instrument helped me in the beginning into like just forming my sound, production wise. Um, it allowed me to like understand music in a different way opposed to if I didn't play an instrument. I'm sure I would have got there still, but it helped me. It gave me a good little, just some groundwork for understanding, just like sound and all of that. So
So it's really started like from your family coming up, and then getting inspired, I think, by yeah, the people from within your family and stuff, I hear. So that's
yeah,
that's very nice, because yeah, they say most of the time, if you have that roots already in your family, then you get more inspired and stuff like that. So but when was the time that you actually thought, okay, I'm going to go more into hip hop or producing or beat making? But which time was that?
it was in like late like middle school, eighth grade for me, like eighth grade-ish. I started messing with FL Studio. It's like an older version of FL Studio. So as I was messing with like FL Studio and it's just when I was playing the instrument. So when I would like not when I wasn't practicing and stuff like that, I was like someone had showed me the program and I was like, what is this? And so it was like the demo version. It wasn't even like the actual version, it's a demo version. I was like, oh, like I was just so like taken aback from it. Like it amazed me. And then because while I was listening to MF Doom, I would leave school and just listen to MF Doom's his beat tapes just all the time. I would just have it, just listening to like all of them. I was just so amazed by it, and I just remember saying to myself like, I want to make that. Like I want to practice enough to be able to get my music to sound somewhat close to what that feeling is when I'm listening to their music. And it made me like just kind of it pushed me to want to get better, to get better. Like I was nowhere as good. Like I still have like if you look online, like old stuff, like when I was like 2009, 2010, this is before I even met you, I was just kind of like making whatever. And I was just getting my sound in tune, just kind of like practicing, practicing, practicing. With anything, you just practice and just like put your time into it. And it's not gonna always be great stuff in the beginning, but you have to get all that out. You have to just like make it. You just have to, not just say it in your head, but actually just do it, even if it doesn't sound the best, but you'll get it there with in due time. So
Exactly, exactly. And talking about tools, yeah, you say you just started with FL, and how does that develop over time to until where you are now? What tools are you working with right now?
yeah, for right now I'm with the machine. I'll use them. I've gone through all of them. Like so with FL, I started with FL Studio. I went from FL Studio to like GarageBand to like Pro Tools, even to all the different just programs and things like that. But I eventually got to Machine because I wanted to get an MPC. I really wanted to get an MPC because I remember seeing Pete Rock use it and on YouTube. I used to watch a video on YouTube and he was chopping up Pat Benatar's sample on like the 16 pads, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like I was just like, oh, that's so dope. And I wanted to get an NPC, but not knowing that they were so expensive too. They're still expensive, but like when I wanted it, it was like I was like, I don't have the money to even get it. But I was like always imagine like having an NPC 1000. Because I mean Doom used the NPC like 2000, 1000. Like Wonder was using NPC, but he actually was on FL Studio. He was like Wonder was one of the first producers on the computer using FL Studio. So that was kind of inspiring too to see that. But yeah, I went through all the different just testing stuff out, you know. You also have to that's the thing about like using so many different DAWs and programs that you just want to see what fits with you, you know. You just want to see what like allows you to get your art out the best you can, you know, and to the best of your abilities. A lot of times it's the programs are like the tools, but it's about your creativity and what you can come up with. The person who uses the tools is how you get the the outcome of the product, the art, you know? So I think it's good to dabble in all of them and see what works, you know, what things fall in line. So
So a lot of experimenting I hear from through the time, working with different materials, different tools. So how does
mhm.
this world of music production, like right now where you're at, are you making a living from making music, or do you still do it as a hobby, or what is it? How did you develop over time with this?
Yeah, so with making music, it's not an easy thing. I want like definitely when people go into it, they don't think you're just going to be like making boatload. Like it can. Sometimes it does happen overnight. Sometimes you have to build your fan base up to where you can live off your music and really like make a true living, you know. But I think once you get to a point where, you know, success in that area is whatever it is to you. You know, if you're making however much and it's you feel good about what you're doing, like it'll grow more and more, you know. Like I think a lot of artists, I would say, like when you enjoy what you're doing, the money and all that will come, but you don't even think about that because you're just worried about the quality of what you're putting out, and those things will fall in line, you know. And I've gotten opportunities of different like small like independent companies reaching out to me, wanting me, you know, paying me to like maybe use their service to like do a set on their online. You know, I did a set for this thing called ID3. They had they were making an app where you can watch people like live stream their like sets, basically do like sets of like music, playing music, DJ. And that was my first time exploring that area of like had people watching me live and stuff, and it was cool. People could donate, and it was just a cool experience. So you get those opportunities, the more you just you put into your craft and you get better at what you do. You know, people see that. People are always watching. So that's the one thing too. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people are watching that you don't even realize. They're just like they got their eyes on you. It's just you know. So
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. I mean, people are watching, even though sometimes you don't really, pay attention to that, but people are
yeah.
watching what you're doing, you know.
Hmm.
So I really think that's very motivational as well for people, especially here in Aruba, because it's a small island, and a lot of time we think, okay, how are we gonna export our music out there? But you just have to be patient, and keep working on what you want to achieve. So
Hmm.
tell me about the music platform that you use, because I know your music is like all over the place on YouTube, SoundCloud. Tell me about
Hmm.
more of which platform you like to use to promote your music.
So I like SoundCloud has always been home. SoundCloud has always been. I think that's what did you find me from SoundCloud or?
Yeah, I did.
So SoundCloud is always gonna be home, even though we kind of like there's always been within the community, people are like, oh, SoundCloud is always gonna be home in that sense because I'm able to talk with people, like comment, um, people can comment on my songs. I can communicate with the people in the community and just people that maybe hear me for the first time. Um, and I've had this conversation with the other like producers and artists, like how because Spotify and Apple and the streaming services, they're great for like getting if you're able to get in those big playlists, the big playlists, those which I've had the opportunity to get in on one of those. It was an interesting experience, like looking back at it, like seeing how it works and like, and what happens afterwards after you get on like something like that. The mentality that you go through with your music. I'll get back to that, but with the platforms is, yeah, I use all of them: Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, YouTube now and stuff. I try to put more of my music on my albums on YouTube, like the four streams. I try to do little events like live streaming the album. You can put like when you upload your stuff, you can make it where it's like a live event, where it's like it's premiering, it's called, and people can hear it and comment in real time and stuff. And I try to do different things like that with my albums and work. But yeah, I love all the. It's good to utilize all the platforms best you can. Bandcamp, you can put your music and they can pay you just like one on one. And they have things like Bandcamp Friday where the when you get the consumer pays you, you get the majority of the proceeds, the money that can so they have things like that that can be helpful for the artists too. So it's good to utilize all those and be active as far as like, and even with promoting. um I I see it now more so on Instagram. A lot of artists, they do like the reels and stuff and making, just trying to, and those do work. It's almost like similar to TikTok. Like TikTok is in that aspect too. Like I've tried that, and you can get like, but it's never like it's no blueprint to it. Sometimes it just like blows up. Sometimes I've seen artist U4 is from Baltimore, and he's real. He's been in the game even before I was, but he's someone that's like I was always thought was like inspiring, from Baltimore. And he posted something on TikTok and they got like 100,000 views, but it's an old video from like 2016. He was in New York, and it was a dope song. Like it was a dope flip he was doing. He was playing in New York in Brooklyn, I think it was, and or somewhere. And it got like a lot of views, and he was able to. It was dope to see him get his flowers, from people that don't need that. It was a lot of people that knew of him. It was other people that didn't know of him, but it was dope to see him get his flowers in that sense, even though he didn't even expect it to get like that. But so it's good to you just never know. It's good to utilize all the platforms to your advantage if you can. Though some people have, they have their gripes with them, but I think it's good to just dabble in different ones. So
All right, that's very nice to hear because there's a lot of platforms out there, and you have to just see what works with you for you actually. So that's important.
yeah.
So maybe you can go into tips. What tips would you like to give like people that are just starting producing music, and especially people that like living in a small community and they want to get their music out there? What would
Mm.
you recommend them to do?
I think especially for like you said, a small community, stick together with your community. I think that's important. Like especially if it's a small knit, like if you have other people, other artists too that within your vicinity that stick with them, create, like build a energy together, or even if you're by yourself, build your energy within you, and just always learn, always just be a student to the game of all of this, because it doesn't matter how long you've been making music, you're always a student. There's always something new you can learn and add to your repertoire of skills, and just learn. It helps a lot, and it allows you to be open to so many new different ideas, and reinventing yourself in different ways. Once you are in it for a good enough long time, you find ways to want to, like, kind of keep that energy up with wanting to create, instead of, because there's a lot of times when people get like kind of burnt out and it's like, I don't really. I always see that, even with me. Like I have times where I'm just, man, what am I doing? But then I get it again. I get like something happens and that switch turns on. It's like I'm back on. It's always a thing with us creatives. And it's like just keeping it going, keeping the wheel turning. So, you know,
Yeah, that's right. That's definitely right. So, it's something for me as well, just to keep creating, doing also other different things that are creative. Like I see that you're painting as well and stuff like that. So that's nice to keep productive and keep creating. It's important.
Yeah, because you can get inspired by life, just like life itself. Do, like you said, do other things like art, and that's something that I was drawn before I was even making music, but I just kind of gravitated over to the music, but I still kept the art since, with drawing, and I love that. But yeah, just do things that you love, and be inspired by just the world in many different ways. You watch a movie or something, or just like do things, just be outside, go out for a walk, and just kind of just take it all in and transfer it into your creative art. It's the best feeling when you can do that, so.
Nice, man. Hey, I want to thank you. I want you to share with people, like, again, where they can find you, and also, um, what did I want to say? Yeah, the tips we got into. Yeah, just give like closing thing that you want to say to people, like motivate them, like keep going and stuff like that.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, keep like everyone that's like is getting into it, that's just getting into creating, making music, with anything you're doing, or people that's been doing it for a long enough time. Just keep up with it, and keep doing your thing, man. Just keep pushing yourself every day. It's going to be worth it. It really is. Once you stick with it, stick it through. It's going to be humps and hills. Once you get over that, to the other side of it, it's you'll thank yourself. So I say keep pushing, keep going.
Oh yeah, I wanted to say, like, do you have upcoming project that share that you want to share with us?
Yeah, so I have a collaborative album with my friend Hobbs Duende. He's in New York, in the East Coast. We have something that we've been like in the process of making, because we have our first album, Killer Hobbs Season 1. It's the first, came out like 2, 3 years ago, and people really like that. So we've been working on this other one. We got about 10 songs now. I think I want to do a couple more, but I think I might want to visit. I might visit him in New York soon, just so we can finish it up and get him, like, tell him like, yeah, we gotta finish this album. But yeah, we working on that, and I got I released like did I released like 3 albums last year. I've been working a lot, but I wanna release some more single albums this year too. I might do some like sequels to certain previous projects. So I'm always making stuff. I just have to, like, I'm just trying to organize all of it, but and hopefully I can get you on something. We haven't worked in so long. I get you back outside.
Yeah, I've been busy, but right now I'm also studying all of that. So my motivation,
uh,
like, I'm trying to
yeah.
do different things. So like you said, stay creative in a way.
Hmm.
But sure, maybe in the future we can link up again. But one thing
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, like, I understand that a lot of times, like, you work with a lot of people. People just link with you and then you do collabs and stuff like that. How does that
Mm.
come together?
So I'll just say this, like, you're the first person I ever collab with. So I don't know if I'm sure you're the first person ever. I always tell people, like, you're the first person. So, I know I've never really collabed with a lot of people because I was just so to myself a lot. But over the years, I've gotten more just accustomed to, like, people that vibe with my energy. Um, I got my friend S. Miller, Adobe, Hobbs, my whole family, For Knowledge, that's our collective, everyone, Quaj and Marv and Chris. Like, we all, like, it's a lot of people I work with, like, or I just kind of talk with, and we build ideas, a lot of times. And um I think once I have the right energy with someone, like, it just clicks. It flows so easily, and everything just comes together so easily when you're collaborating with other people. I don't think you should ever force it. I think it should be something that's like just organic and naturally. The same way we connect, the way we connected when I sent you stuff, it just came so easily. Like, I loved your style, so, and that's why I didn't even question it. It was just like, I'm all in. So once I get that feeling, like, I know I'm like, I'm all in. I got I put all of it in there into whatever we're making. So, but it's beautiful when it comes together in the collaborative, because it can be hard because everyone has living their life and doing different things. But once you get everyone to come together, it really is something like amazing, the end product.
Creativity, man, it brings everybody together from all over the world, and so that's very nice to see that as well. So I think this is what I wanted to show. I wanted to share with people, especially here in Aruba, to see how people are linked, and even if we are abroad, we can still connect with others and share your music. So I want to thank you, Kilamdapro, because you're still working. And I know now I've seen you grow in this time, this couple of years. So that's very nice to see how everything is going. And I hope to see more.
Yeah, you know me since high school. You know that? Like you since I was in high school when we started talking. I was so young. I didn't have all this facial hair. I was like baby face.
Yeah. But you know what I like? I really like the vibe that you were bringing. Like you have most of this laid back,
Yeah.
I really like that vibe, and that's how we actually linked up and said and how to see how we can create music together. And we did some experimental stuff. You were rapping. I remember one time, so that was very nice. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, whenever I play just stuff to people, the stuff you did over they loved it. They always, oh, that's Chanelli. Even people knew your name, like Chanelli. Like I would play it for a bunch of people, and they loved it because I was happy with what we did and just your music in general. So I thank you too, just for bringing that out of me, just like making me comfortable collaborating in that sense and sharing my ideas. So
That's me. That's what music do, all over the place. That's the love,
yeah.
the creativeness that we all have to link together and just to share music, make music. That's important.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what it's about, bringing people from no matter where you are, just together. Music connects everyone. Just
exactly.
you know.
So yeah, this is it. I want to thank you for this small and a little bit of small take of the interview. This is all to for me, especially in Aruba, is to promote hip hop and also promote the producing music, because I see a lot
Yeah,
of people want to start and they want to do a lot of things, but they don't really understand the process and how to start and how to be inspired also by other, because like you said, you are also inspired by other artists, and I see that they should look more abroad as well. Don't stick into the small thing. There's all sorts of music and all
yeah.
sorts of things you should link with. So I want to
Hmm.
thank you for the interview. It was nice.